All right, hello everyone. I did tease you in the last video with the box from Speedway. Never did get around to showing you in that video what it was. We kind of had a problem, and as you saw at the very beginning of this video, I showed you a bad tire. So let's step around over here. And we did have one good tire that we could keep, which we did. We'll use that as a spare. And I went down to my local tire shop, picked up a couple more. These are $2.95 50R15s. We're going to put them on the back and get them cleaned up. And as you can tell, here's the white wheels that we got painted, and you'll see in a second why I didn't paint the whole wheel. I got everything cleaned up that you can see. Let's step around up here to the front. The Speedway box contained the bullets. This is a center cap that I wanted to put on this truck for a long time. Finally broke down and bought it, so we're going to work on doing that along with chrome beauty rings, and let's get busy. It's crazy afternoons, Friday afternoon before the Supernationals. I've got a busy weekend and a couple days next week. We got to get ready, get this thing on the ground, and be ready to go first thing Wednesday morning. Go ahead and get the rest of these put on. What's going to be fun is trying to get all those little screws in the proper holes. I think I can pull it off. Alright, let's go find us about 5 or 6 screws and a little screwdriver. I know what I'm looking for. Alrighty, let's see. I think that's the ticket right there. Let's see, after 3 hand surgeries, putting these little screws in might be a little bit of a challenge. And also, I think I'm going to go and get a little bit of Loctite to put on there too, because I don't think we want to mess around and lose these things. Alright, we're going to use the blue medium strength, the red's high temperature, and then I've got a couple other things over there that are semi-permanent. We're not going to use those. We're going to use the medium, and then that way if we have to get them off, we'll be able to. Alright, we're going to have a screwdriver. Got it right where I want it. Tell you what, cut that off a minute. I need to get Alright, y'all start betting on how many times it takes me to get this screw started. That one wasn't quite as bad. Started dropping it before I even Well, this is, you got, okay, we got one more. We might get that done before dark. Gosh almighty, I just slung screws everywhere. We got to do something different here. One down, 4 to go. At this rate, we'll be done by Tuesday. All right, we have fast forwarded to the next morning. We've got the bullet center caps with the beauty rings put on, and it did turn out to be quite a bit more of a job because the deep dish beauty rings that I wanted to use would not work on the rear wheels. If you remember, those were modified by my dad years ago, and it's changed where the lip location is, and so we have had to do things a little bit differently, but we've got them on there. Had a little bit of trouble the way these things are mounted. I may have seen it earlier, but each one of these are held on with 5 little small screws. It's early in the morning, and I've had enough coffee to where I could thread a sewing machine and it running. So trying to be steady enough to get those things in place, a little bit of a chore this morning, but we're going to get up underneath the truck and see if we can't slow down a couple little oil leaks and make it last at least until we get to the winter time before we can really go after this thing. Well, as you can see, we've got a few leaks that are obviously pretty prevalent. I don't really have time to worry with trying to regasket an oil pan and all that, so I'm going to take you underneath here and we're going to look and see, and I think what I'm going to try to do is just tighten this up a little bit, at least to get us through this show, and we'll get ready for wintertime. Alright, I hope the camera can pick it up really well, but both sides of the oil pan is wet all the way down. That corner right there is extremely wet. Hope that's picking up, but then we've got a little bit of power steering fluid that's leaking down from the power steering pump up there. I think it's coming from the return lines and down at the bottom of the fuel pump. So we're gonna tighten this stuff up and see if we can't make it a little bit better. Alrighty, we've got a few things loaded. I'm going to try to finish up a couple little bitty things that's not worth recording. Do some running around, and either this afternoon or maybe tomorrow, we're going to get this thing finalized and ready to load. Thanks for sticking around. We're back in the shop again today. I've got to get some final things done as far as the way we display the truck or show, set the truck in the parking lot and people walk by. One of the things we're going to do, I have got a stand, which you guys may not be able to see, but I had built it last year. Going to do a little bit of a modification there, and basically what I've got on that is a book that shows all the paperwork when Dad purchased the truck, and then I've got a story about the truck, its life, and since we've had it, that'll hang down below there. But I've got to make a little bit of a modification to this thing, so we're going to make a few sparks this afternoon, weld a little old piece of metal on here, and be one step closer to get to Tennessee. So thanks for being with me this afternoon. I know this video kind of is in segmented parts, but we're having to do it as we've got time, and time is drawing nigh. So let's get some sparks flying around. Oh, let's see. Get a skinny 9. All right, let's get you guys moved around here so we can see a little better what we've got, what we're trying to accomplish here. All right, basically last year what I had to do is tape the book to this because I wasn't thinking that, hey, this incline's going to slide off. It rings like a church bell too, doesn't it? So what I'm just going to do is just tack on a little piece of angle iron right here just to try to dress it up a little bit, make it look a little better than what it does. Got a little bit of a burr. So we're just going to try to tack that right there. See how it turns out. Probably need a sheep's foot clamp instead of a pincher. That's not going to work either because the metals are two different thicknesses. Well, we'll just have to hold it with our hands. Again, we're using the Hyper View from Art Captain. Economically priced hood, but probably one of the better ones I've had in a long time. I highly recommend their products. No sponsorship here. I found out about these folks through a friend of mine, and he was telling me how good it was for the money. He was right. They make good stuff. Alrighty, let's see if we can stick this thing together. If I ever fall out of a building or an airplane, I want to make sure I got a stinger in my hand or the other end of it, because it's going to catch on everything on the way to the ground. No chance in the world you're going to get hurt in a fall. That'll be good enough. All right, got to take the grinder and clean that up a little bit, but then we'll spray some more clear coat on it. All of it will match because it's rusted up. Rust Lover's Garage, right? Okay, we've got that done. Kind of get the stuff together and show you what she's going to look like for those of you that won't be able to make it to the show. So stand by just a second. All right, as you can see, let's get the camera adjusted a little bit. Book's going to sit on top here. I've got my little story hanging there, and that'll sit out in front of the truck. When people come by, they'll get an opportunity to look at it, learn a little bit more about me, learn a little bit more about the truck. So let's go get something else done. I've got a list that's growing, but we'll get there. Underneath's got 2 or 3 little razor knives in it. Got red, yellow, and something else. At this point, we're going to wrap the video up. As you can tell, we're still working on getting the truck. It's about ready to load on the trailer. We're trying to get the haul truck and everything ready there, get it checked out, and head to the Supernats later on this week. Appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. And if you're in the area, if you're up there for the Supernats, by all means, stop by and introduce yourself. I see a lot of names and stuff on Facebook and all the various F100 forums and stuff that I'm involved in, and would like to have a face to put along with your truck and your name as I see it on the internet. But I do appreciate the time you spend with my channel. Again, we're still growing. We've crossed that 1,000 threshold. I hate to keep mentioning that, but that is quite a milestone for me, and I am most thankful. I really am. Without you guys, I'd be wasting a lot of time, and who knows, maybe doing that anyway. But nonetheless, safe travels to everybody that's headed up, and we should start seeing folks on, I guess, Wednesday. God bless.